My dear brothers and sisters in Christ, we thank the Lord who has brought us together as a family of faith on this feast of St. Thomas the Apostle. I bring to all of you the greetings of Pope Leo XIV. I will tell him that you had a big applause when his name was mentioned. Wow. And we thank Archbishop Joseph and the Archdiocese of Hanoi and all the bishops and priests and religious and lay people in Vietnam for this wonderful occasion. Yesterday, we had a beautiful celebration, the beatification of Blessed Francis Xavier Dieppe. And now we celebrate one of the 12 apostles, Thomas. I heard with joy the remarks of our dear Archbishop when he said that in the Archdiocese of Hanoi, and I believe in the whole of Vietnam, the goal is to form all of us into missionary disciples. Every disciple or follower of Jesus must be a missionary proclaiming who Jesus is. I cannot say, I am only a disciple. I will not be a missionary. And I should not say, I will be a missionary, but not a disciple or follower of Christ. A disciple or follower, a friend of Jesus, becomes a missionary. That is the story of Thomas the Apostle. Apostle means missionary, but he was first a disciple, a friend of Jesus. Thomas, called Didymus, meaning twin. Who is the twin of Thomas? Do you know his twin brother or twin sister? I know. Each one of us is a twin brother or sister of Thomas. We can see in Thomas our own story. Unfortunately, Thomas is known in the church as the doubting Thomas, someone who doubted the resurrection of Christ. But that is not the full story of Thomas. When Jesus was returning to Judea, where he was hated, where he could be persecuted, Thomas said to the other disciples, "Let us go with him to die with him." So Thomas had that heart of a disciple. If my master will be persecuted, let us go and die with him. Then Jesus says, "Where I am going, you cannot follow me now." And Thomas said, "Lord, where are you going? Where is the way to reach your destination?" And Jesus says, "I am the way, the truth, and the life." Thomas always likes to go where Jesus wants to go, and he wants to know the way. And thanks to the question of St. Thomas, we heard the revelation of Jesus, "I am the way, the truth, and the life." Then we hear of Thomas again after the death of Jesus. Jesus appeared to the disciples in the closed room. But Thomas was not with them. We don't know where he went. Maybe he was grieving for the death of his master. Maybe he was disappointed with the other disciples and with himself. When the disciples told Thomas that the Lord had appeared to them, Thomas said, "No, unless I see the marks of his suffering and death, I will not believe." To tell you the truth, I cannot blame Thomas. Who reported that they had seen the Lord? Peter, James, John, the other disciples. Will you believe them? Peter denied Jesus. Will you believe Peter? James and John wanted the best seats in the kingdom of heaven. Will you believe them? He wanted to see the Lord because Peter, James, John, for him were not credible witnesses. So, if the messenger is not credible, many people will not believe. But Jesus is very good. He returned to the room, I believe, for Thomas. Thomas is special. So Jesus returned for him. And Jesus fulfilled the desire of Thomas. He showed him his hands and his side, wounded hands and side. And he invited Thomas to put his finger into his hands and into his side. "Come, touch me," Jesus said. Seeing Jesus, Thomas said, "My Lord and my God." His journey led him to the proclamation, "Who is Jesus? My Lord and my God." How about Peter, James, John, and the others? According to the gospel, Jesus appeared to them and they were very happy. But we do not know whether they said, "My Lord and my God." It was Thomas who gave to us this short prayer that we Catholics use during the consecration. We say, "My Lord and my God." That's why I know we are the twins of Thomas. Let us not be afraid to ask questions like Thomas. Let us not be afraid to tell the Lord, "Where are you going and how can we join you?" And let us not be afraid to entertain some doubts, knowing that the Lord will take care of you. He will come back for you. And when we see the Lord, please be a missionary. Proclaim the Lord, "My Lord and my God." Where will we see the wounds of Jesus? In the wounds of our brothers and sisters, and in our own wounds. When we see a wounded person, physically, emotionally, mentally, do not judge harshly. It might be the Lord showing Himself to you. I will end by saying this. One theologian said, "Those who do not look at and touch the wounds of Jesus in the wounds of others cannot say, my Lord and my God. Blessed Francis Xavier Diep, wounded, killed, but in his wounds we see the glory of the Lord. So let us be disciples, followers of Christ, search for Him, and when you find Him, be a missionary. Proclaim Him, my Lord and my God. Today, all the men, your name today is Thomas. All the women today, your name is Thomasina. We are all twins of Thomas, missionary disciple.